Alright, gamers, we are live for day 6 of V0oidathon. Hello and welcome. And for the first run of the day, we're gonna have Cracked Gamer Laugh with 4 underscores playing DKC3 No Major Skips. And with me on commentary, we have the great Silent Wolf. Welcome, gamer.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going?
So yeah, Laugh is, as always, going to be muted, but me and Otto are going to take care of the comms. So whenever Laugh is ready, we'll just get this going.
Alright, should we go ahead and give a countdown?
Yeah, I think Laugh might be waiting on this, but like, since the timer was on his hand, I was like, you can pretty much go whenever. But yeah, I'll give you a countdown, Laugh. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Smurf. Good luck, good luck. All right.
Alright, good luck. So no major skips. I think the meat of this run is probably at the beginning here in these first couple worlds, because normally in other categories, or I guess in any percent rather, which is what we see most commonly, we just kind of skip through these first couple worlds, but no major skips. I think we play them pretty much warpless style. I can't remember if there's any like major differences between warpless or no major skips, but
I think warpless would still do the LE skips in both 1.5 and 2.5, right?
that's right. Yeah, and warpless also skips what is that stage called? Is it Squeals on Wheels?
Yep.
Yeah. And this one we play it. And that stage is actually really cool, warpless.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I remember when this category was kind of starting out and like the discussions were happening. I was testing the waters with these stages in the first couple worlds, and they're actually really fun. I think my favorite was I can't remember the name of it, but the snow level in World 1.
Skidder's Row.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have good experience with that level from 103%, and yeah, it's pretty fun. You wouldn't think that, but there's actually like a good amount of tech coming from just moving on snow physics in this game.
Yeah, and right off the bat, this is actually a pretty tough level to optimize. There's just like so much tech and like so much room to optimize all of these lever grabs. But I mean, I'm sure anyone who's dabbled in 103 is pretty familiar with a lot of it.
Yeah, like essentially for the people who are not aware, you have the gimmick of this stage is to grab the handles to raise the doors so you can get through, but obviously the longer you hold onto the levers, the slower it is. So you basically really want to grab the handles as little as possible.
Yeah, and Murphy, to answer your question, you can change the comm colors by doing a cheat code on the title screen, I believe.
Yep. The cheat code is simply color. And then you end up with green kitty and purple Dixie.
Yeah, Minty Kitty Kong. Yeah, so this level you pretty much want to avoid being in the water as much as possible. It took me a long time to realize that the water current was actually going against you, since you just kind of like go through this stage really quick in 8%, but cool way that you avoid that throughout the level is just by landing and rolling off of these little platforms that you see.
Mm-hmm.
Like these guys here.
That was good. At the end, you bounce on the Naka because otherwise it's going to follow you when you grab the flag, and that's going to cause a ton of lag, which is...
Yeah, and anyone who's played any percent is familiar with that.
Yep.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah, this level's really cool. The ice just carries over your momentum so well, so it's just really satisfying to fly through this stage with your rolls.
Yep.
The soundtrack for this stage in the 3GBA version always cracks me up. Like every time I'm watching Anika's stream and he gets to this stage, I have to like do a double take on what stream I'm watching.
The yodeling, yep.
Yeah.
May percent be more fun to grind if this stage wasn't stable.
This is hardware mimic. So yeah, as you can see, Laugh grabs Ellie right away. Since you cannot skip Ellie in the no major skips category. Skipping Ellie in the stage saves a tremendous amount of time and also avoids really just being bothered by the rats.
Oh wait. Oh wait, is it slower to skip Ellie or something?
No, it's faster.
Oh yeah. Not taking damage on that rat is really tough. I remember learning this stage and couldn't really get consistent at coming down and hitting that rat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Even if you bounce on a rat, but you're like in the light, you'll still take damage from it.
Oh, okay, I get it. So it's not a lot.
Yeah, it's a major skip. Considered a major skip.
I got you. You don't want to skip the gimmick global, right?
So right there at the end, Laugh is gonna wait out the rats to get out of the floating light so that Ellie avoids getting scared. And that kind of avoids having to backtrack twice for an item, basically.
Yeah, this is one of the things that makes Rambi better than Ellie.
I wouldn't go that far.
Heck, Rambi.
Oh, no, two Rambi at least.
Ooh, nice Hopless Belcher.
Nice.
Hopless Belcher is a pretty tight strat, saves a very little amount of time, but it feels really good when you get it.
Alright, and we're blasting out of World 1. I don't know why, but I feel like World 2 has always been the world that reminds me of my childhood the most.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe I was just stuck there for a long time as a kid, I don't know.
I guess now that you mention it, I have pretty vivid memories of the Springing Spiders stage.
For me, it's Squeals on Wheels.
Yeah, that one too. And Riverside Race as well. Yeah, I guess now that you mention it, yeah, the levels in this this world are pretty notable.
So this stage is actually really cool warpless. Like, there's a lot of tech to manipulate the camera with Kitty's jumps to, you know, be able to make certain cycles past these monkeys throwing nuts. Like right here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and those rope jumps are really awkward to do in DKC3, so it makes the stage pretty tough at first.
Mm-hmm. Alright, that was nice.
Alright, Riverside Race. The stage is cool, warpless, because you actually get to like see what time you get on the timer, which, you know, until we had the Louis hack, shoutouts to Louis, we weren't able to see that for any other stages.
Yep. This is the only stage in the trilogy that has a built-in IL timer. And in case you guys don't know, like, the gimmick of the stage is literally to speedrun it.
Yeah, normally there's those like bugs or whatever chasing you throughout the stage, but Laugh is kind of going too fast for us to even see them.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, got the big roll at the end, nice.
Yeah, what was the thing about that roll? Was it sometimes you like hit the wall and lose your speed or something?
Yeah, you kind of want to basically play into like whether you get the roll or not, and like if you don't think you're gonna get the roll, then it's kind of complex. But yeah, if you get the roll, you don't want to bonk, but it's also like awkward if you don't get the roll and you plan on going for the no bonk.
This is Squeals on Wheels.
Yeah. Happy 69th day post Aula Gashrai or whatever.
Yeah, I don't like Geschrei is the German name for this level. You guys want to talk about the difference between NMS and Warpless in this level?
Yeah, we touched on that a bit earlier, but in Warpless, you do a glitch near the beginning where you just kind of phase through the door and get to the end pretty quickly. Whereas playing through it in No Major Skips, we opt not to do that. Go through the gimmick of the level where you have to kill all these rats, lower the meters to open the doors, and eventually like come from the very top to get to that point. So yeah, it's a pretty big difference. You're actually playing the stage in this category, and I think it's not the only category where you play it. There's 103, but
yeah, but in 103 you don't play the entirety of the level. Like this part of the level, for example, in 103 you never see it.
Yeah, and the stage can be tricky to optimize because Kitty's throw is like pretty slow and awkward to use, so it really takes some getting used to optimize it.
That coming from the top is always so fun.
Alright, sweet.
Yeah, that shit blew my mind as a kid.
So this stage is just a bunch of platforming, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, a bunch of pretty tough platforming too.
Yep.
Like it seems like a lot of these spider cycles are pretty tough to make.
Yeah, some of them involve camera manip.
Definitely a really satisfying stage to watch done quickly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the stage is pretty mesmerizing to watch.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying right now.
The spider hole.
I recognize that section. It's the end. Good stuff.
Yeah, spiders hop in real life.
2.5 I mentioned earlier, this is another stage where normally if you are playing the level in 103%, for example, you would skip Ellie because it's much faster to do so, but skipping Ellie not allowed in the no major skips category. So I guess you guys are going to see intended strats, but with an asterisk.
I remember there used to be I might be misremembering, but there used to be a 103 route that went through the entire level to pick up an extra.
Yes, I remember that route. I don't remember what the conclusion ended up being regarding whether it saved time or not, but I know it. I remember it being routed.
Well, it was cool while it lasted because that means we got to see the whole stage.
So I love just making usage of damage boosting.
I'm assuming that deep is supposed to die.
Yeah, I don't think the last one was intentional, but it also looked like a pretty tight jump to execute. So
Yeah, I understand.
yeah, because if you don't take damage, then you end up entering Eric with Kitty in front, which is optimal. So yeah, it's like one of those jumps that like you're never gonna die to it because you're gonna have both Kongs, but it's ideal if you don't take damage.
Yep, but Laugh swaps to Kitty, gets the fight no problem.
Good stage, or good boss fight rather.
Alright, now that we're done with World 2, it looks like we're going to be heading on over to World 3.
Yep. Mechanos.
And some would say World 4. The splits are telling me World 4, but
Yeah. Don't.
having just completed World 2, I can only assume it's World 3.
Roll 3 in the town. Nah, it's just World 3. It's your roll that you do.
Now, unless I'm forgetting anything major, I want to say that Mechanos is pretty much the same as any percent.
I think that's correct. Yeah. I don't think there are any major skips that we do in Mechanos in any percent. Like the only thing I can think of is Task Chaos, but I'm pretty sure that's allowed in this category.
Yeah.
Also, wasn't like the end of the stage also discussed at one point?
I believe so.
Oh yeah, actually that's right. That's right. So the ending, we don't do the damage boost. Basically, that ended up being, I think, banned as a result of like making some of the other skips later in the run, like consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Like consistent, like ruling wise, not consistent, like you know, in terms of this damage boost is hard to do or whatever. It's actually not hard to do, but yeah, like we considered that one a major skip because others later in the run are considered major skips, but they're also damage boosts. So, just in order to be like consistent with the ruling. But other than that, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, actually, that's not true. Also, in I keep like remembering strats that are not allowed in Mechanos, but Vine Clip in Logi Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Also not allowed.
The appropriately named trick.
Yeah, I still see people asking, why is it called Vine Clip? And like back when I got into DKC3, I didn't know anything about DKC2, so I was always confused about that too.
Yeah. The lore is that Claude named the trick Vine Clip because he was like, well, that's a trick at the end of World 3, and Vine Clip's a trick at the end of World 3, so there you go. So yeah, not a whole lot going on, obviously, through this stage, and also through the next stage. They're auto-scrollers, so time to read some donations, gamers.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no major skips in this stage.
We can talk about how in GBA, the music is not fitting for the gimmick.
Yeah, isn't it like isn't as intense as this?
It's
Can't remember.
The music is a happy cool one.
Yeah, the GBA music for this level is definitely not as gloomy or frightening as it is in this version.
Yeah, so Laugh is playing on the J version, but the Japanese and US versions are actually really close in this category, since Bleak Skip is not allowed, which is normally like the big time save for the J version. I can't quite remember all the big differences between the two, though.
Between U and J?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a
this
lot.
category in particular.
For this category, yeah, it would be Bleak Skip, it would be the Chaos Fight, I guess Boot Movement, the Barrel in 4-2, that's another very small one.
I forget, the skip in Squeals on Wheels, is that still possible on you?
You know, I don't know actually.
I want to say that it is, but it's like different and like harder or something.
Yeah, different and slower and harder or something. Yeah, yeah. That sounds about right. That might actually be like a good reason to play on J. Even if playing on J makes the Chaos fight harder.
Yeah. I remember the discussions about it, and like it was concluded they were really close. And I want to say that if you're like doing Task Chaos, that might just put the J version ahead. But I'm happy to be corrected on that as well. Yeah, J has faster loads as well. Yeah, there's a bunch of small differences that add up.
I literally just noticed that Laugh did this entire stage with both Kongs.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that last barrel. I'm not sure if you could actually do that quick, like beat the cycle there.
Nah, you actually cannot, yeah. Not with both Kongs.
Ooh. Yeah, sometimes you'll get a slow landing like that with Dixie.
Yep.
There's a way to like land on the platform so you don't have any landing lag, and that's kind of what you want to do in that section, but it's pretty tough, and it comes at the risk of like not making the platforms or getting a slow landing like that as well. It's one of the things that's different about this game than the other two DKCs is the landing mechanic is pretty unique, and if you're not used to it, it can be pretty punishing as well. Yeah, so we should see a different ending here outside of the typical vine flip. Oh no. Maybe we were just misremembering.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe the ruling changed, I don't know.
Purple squawks.
Or actually, maybe Vine Clip is still allowed because you can get through that section with a damage boost normally anyways. So maybe we ended up allowing that one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Task Chaos. Laugh is really good at that fight, so I'm expecting nothing but perfection. He's nailing those backups. That's really sweet to see.
Yeah, gets the first 3 hits, no problem.
Yep. The fourth one is the hardest for me personally, and gets it no problem. Very nice.
Yeah, one of the weird things about Task Chaos, or just going for that 2-1 jump on the 4th hit in particular, is it makes the damage boost at the end really tight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, yep.
That's fine. You got pretty much every hit in the fight, though, so that was still really solid.
Yeah.
So why does getting the hits make that boost tight?
I don't know. It consistently makes it different and makes it tighter, though.
I think, I think it's tighter
like,
because like Chaos is in a different position. Like normally he's in the center of the arena, and when he's not in the center of the arena, but going for that like you know, he goes down and then goes for the blade attacks. Like I don't know, something about that makes his hitbox different or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I love that strat at the beginning. If you do a swim in the right spot, it makes that fish that's normally in your way as you're cutting around that first corner, going back left, just kind of spawn late, and he's still in the wall there. I think the water levels in DKC3 are actually my favorite. Like, they're just so fun to optimize.
Yeah, this stage in particular is really good. Like, for a water level, like, you know, people love to shit on water levels, but this stage is great.
Yeah, it's fast-paced, and there's just so many opportunities to build up a lot of momentum going around these corners. Get a cameraman up here to dodge these bosses.
You good?
Were you talking to me?
I don't know, I was hearing some noises.
Oh, yeah. I thought my mic was muted.
That's all good.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm just like drinking coffee and just like bagged up this morning.
There's another version of Python isn't there?
So I remember this stage, and all the stages that have skips that have to do with like skipping some of these ledges were pretty contentious when developing the rule set for this category, but I don't remember if any in this stage in particular were ended up being on the banned list.
I think the team throw to get into the up barrel is, and that's the only one. Yep. Left going for the D-boost there to compensate. Is 5.3 like 10 times longer in NMS? It's longer. I wouldn't say it's 10 times longer, but yeah.
Yeah, so an example would be a bit
Any Stilt Village enjoyers in the chat room, by the way? Ooh, Laugh's gonna go for the advanced recoil roll. Very nice. Gets it.
Nice.
That's one of the newer optimizations in this game. Saves a little bit of time over grabbing the ropes.
nice cat.
Yeah, sorry, my cat's hungry.
Cool cat in the chat. Oh,
and he gets the
wow!
glide. Was not expecting that.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, that's one of those tacit pieces.
That is a really tough strat to get. The glide saves about 3 seconds if you do though.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
He's cracked. He's so good. D-boost right there to skip a couple barrel cycles on the bottom row. And another D-boost right here to skip that barrel entirely.
That's the first time I've ever seen someone do that. RTA.
The glide, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say Blue was meaning it at some point.
Of course Blue was doing it. Oh my god. Blue loves going for hard shit that saves no time and kills your runs.
I know there were discussions at one point of like, you know, would it be faster or even to do Cotton Top Cove before Mechanos? And I suppose if you were to do that, you could justify going for it. since you don't have Mechanos behind you.
Earlier in the run and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Even then, I don't know if I would go for that.
Yeah. For what it's worth, the main reason why Mechanos is done before Caught in Top Cove in this game, like in all speedruns, like, you know, aside from the fact that Mechanos' World 3 is Kong management. So, like, we end Caught in Top Cove with Dixie in front, but it's better to start Mechanos with Kitty in front.
And that's what makes it World 3?
Yeah, it's due to Kong management. There were some interesting like thoughts floating around with, like, you know, the benefits of entering Mechanos with Dixie in front as well, though. Like,
yeah, that's true.
doing like certain damage boosts near the beginning to reach the rope faster, and then just playing it with Kitty normally. But I don't think it ended up being worth it in the end.
So Life has a really peculiar strat on Squirt to really go for early hits, and I think he told me it ends up saving, like, it's either like half a second for the whole fight or half a second per cycle. I'm not sure.
Yeah, hard to say, but definitely a really sick strat.
Yep. I tried learning it, and I was not. I just was not able to wrap my head around it. Like, for whatever reason, the timing of shooting the water, I could not get that down. But I also, like, haven't put that much time into it. What I'm trying to say basically is Laugh is sick.
Oh, nice haunts.
Thank you for the honk. Alright, so 5-1. The big thing about 5-1 that you guys won't necessarily get to see here is that it's actually faster to do with only one Kong. The problem is, obviously, if you take damage, you die, and it's pretty easy to take damage in that stage because you kind of want to climb those horizontal rope sections as quickly as possible, and just missing a jump very often means death. So having both Kongs is a safety strat of sorts. Yeah, case in point there. Thankfully, there's a backup barrel right here. Life is probably going to go for the D-boost there in exchange. Yep. To both fix its Kong order and save a little bit of time. So a pretty good stage all around. Despite, like, that very small mistake, which, like, ended up not even losing that much time due to that backup. Practice your backups, gamers. So this stage, really not much to say about this stage, but Life honestly has the fastest tearaway toboggan that I've ever seen. So there's definitely some optimizations to be had in this level, like probably like kind of similar to the level I'm thinking of is Haunted Hall in DKC 2.
Yeah, I was just about to say this is the snowy 2-pack library.
Yo, balloon jump.
Yeah, optimizing the jumps in this stage is tricky to figure out too, because there are situations where you're like, you know, it's faster to start jumping as you're like starting to go uphill, and you would think, you know, you might want to jump before you hit the hill, but like your speed is just changed in different ways from the terrain, and it really just takes like a lot of experimenting to figure out. It's not super intuitive.
A reminder that every 5-2 in the trilogy is an auto-scroller. Yep. Kind of a mind-blowing fact once you learn about it.
Alright, so this is one of the late game stages that is notably different in this category. So typically we'll use team-up jumps to skip big portions of this stage, but since this is no major skips, we won't be doing that. And some of the movement through these other sections is a bit awkward too, if I recall. Like the enemies are just in strange places, so optimizing it could be a bit tricky.
Oh yeah.
Will get you like that.
Not to mention the barrels. Like the barrels have really weird hitboxes, and also, like Otto mentioned earlier, the landing lag can really affect your performance.
Ooh, nice quick webs.
Yep. The two big sections for quick webs to matter are those last two. So right here and then this final shaft. Yep, as you can see, Laf was able to quickly chain those 4 webs, saving quite a bit of time for that last climb.
Is it understood how they work?
It is. I would say it's understood with an asterisk. Like it's Kaizo. The science behind it, like Laf, I think explained it to me once, and I was like, holy shit, because it involves basically some IDs. But like you have to manipulate an ID and maintain it through the stage as much as possible, and like your movement has to be somewhat precise in order to maintain that. And if you have that ID active, then quick webs with Squidder become possible.
I thought it would be like what was for you have a certain number of.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you how to work for DKC2.
Why don't your ID's nuts?
Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna disband you, nerd. Do not disrespect the Lemguin Lunge IL, because that IL was sick.
That was sick. You even got the roll in the beginning where you can get screwed over by the ledge. Alright, it's your boy.
We're gonna do the big skip.
Not getting skipped.
Yeah, it turns out Bleak Skip is a major skip. Who would have thought?
It's also part of the reason why I feel like discussions for this category were started, because, you know, this game already had Warpless, but you still do Bleak Skip in Warpless, so I think people wanted a category where you could play through all the stages and, you know, actually escape the tortures of any percent.
And 2-3-2, right?
So yeah, the downside of having to fight Bleak is exactly what happened for that hit. So like, there's RNG in where Bleak spawns throughout the fight, and for that hit that Laf missed, he doesn't stay on screen for very long, so you have to react pretty good to where he spawns. The downside is having to fight him. I mean, yes.
The downs, but you don't have to skip them.
There's another pretty pog stage right here. Lots of skips. Lots of pretty tight movement with the parrot.
Yeah, there's been so much tech developed in this stage over the years. Oh, it just misses that. So he was doing a little moonwalk there to manipulate that red bee spawn to try and beat the cycle. It just bumps him the ledge a little bit there.
I've actually never seen that strat. I should start implementing it in my runs.
Yeah, I think initially when I found it, it was only saving like a handful of frames, and then Laugh found like a really specific point where you could do the camera manip, and it ended up saving more.
Nice.
Dodges the copter at the end, saving a couple frames. It's always a scary jump. I wouldn't go for it myself.
Baron. But yeah, I agree. Like, I always bounce on the copter at the end. You can't do what Laugh did, but it's tight and risky, obviously. No one wants to die to that last copter.
Yeah, not after Bleak.
Alright. You have a burn your rope for us, Otto? Burn your rope update, I meant.
Burn your rope update. This has been a pretty sick run so far. Definitely fun for me, because it's been a while since I watched a full major skips run. Or no major skips, rather.
Yeah, same, honestly. That's probably like the first run in like over a year that I watch of this category. It's fun.
Like you can, so like, you can save a minute in this thing by doing what Path does.
Yeah, you could save a lot of time, but it's pretty much impossible to be able to do that. If the rope jumps were the same as, like, I don't know, DKC2, I would see it being more possible, but the rope jump, like, doing consecutive rope jumps in this game is impossibly hard.
You mean Donkey 1?
It's way harder than Donkey 1.
The rope jumps in this game, yeah, for sure.
I feel like the ones in 2 are the easiest.
Yep, definitely. They control the best, so you know that.
Yeah.
That kind of helps in that regard.
I heard once that to do one of these roll tops off screen, like it has to be a frame perfect. Like you have to jump off the frame and get off, or the game sends you back down.
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying with DKC1, how you can do like the infinite rope climbs off the top. Yeah, if it was like that, it would be super free.
Oh, gifts of dream. Oh boy, this.
Yeah, so this level has seen some recent optimizations. Like the times that Laugh and other runners get in this stage now are crazy compared to what people used to get.
This is the 119 at Electra.
I remember this stage being the hardest one to learn when I was learning this speedrun initially. just like really just having to dig through trial and error to find out where the walls are and what to do. Like stages like this and Torchlight Trouble where they're dark, I usually try to just like look at them with the lights on just to see where the hell I'm going first, and then try and figure out the movement from there. But yeah, pretty much every lunge in this stage is calculated. Every like, you know, D-pad input in general, just to make sure you have enough momentum or like not too much momentum. Going up or down in certain sections is really important for optimizing that stage.
Yeah, I could tell that that was an insane stage because the audio cue was probably like the best that I've ever heard. Also, Laugh right there, if you guys were able to notice, like, he was able to enter the stage as he was exiting the pond. That's a little bit of an overworld glitch. Basically, when you get out of the pond and into the path leading to this stage, you can technically enter not this stage, Pothole Panic, but the previous one, but because you're gonna get onto the path before the screen fully fades to black, the game will think that you're entering this stage instead, and it saves a little bit of time.
Cute little camera manip to dodge the cherry bombs. Alright, so big difference in this stage coming up versus any percent is we're not going to go for the 2-1 at the beginning. And we're going to play this first section out normally. And I want to say the damage boost at the end of the last stage was actually intentional so that we could do this with Dixie, but I can't quite remember if there's like a damage boost you can do.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the damage boost is considered a major skip. I want to say it is. Alright, Gamer Barbos. So there's some RNG in this first phase. Alright, Laugh got a pretty decent pattern right there.
Yeah, those wide lurchins are pretty hard to hit.
Yeah. Basically, as long as you don't get spawns that are straight in the middle, then you're good.
Yeah, Laugh is pretty much goated at this fight, though.
Yeah. This Barbos is so good. That was super good.
Yeah. Anakaz, are you talking about Floodlit Fish, where you printed out the map to better visualize it?
Yeah, I think you was talking about that.
I always use the, I don't know if you guys have seen the DKC Atlas website, but they have like all the DKC games maps just available to look at, and I always find those super useful for like, you know, when I'm looking for strats and whatnot.
Yeah, the DKC Atlas maps are super good. I do want to say now that World 7 is basically the same as in this category as it is in any percent.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. It's like I'm hesitating as I'm saying it, because like when we said it for World 3, we ended up being wrong a little bit, but... So yeah, damage boost right there, just skip through that long section. Ooh, it's a pretty nice pattern so far. So the way the RNG works in the stage is it's seed-based. So the RNG is basically going to be locked in as you enter the stage, but it also depends on your movement. That was not a super good pattern right there.
Yeah, it's pretty common for that barrel to just be the one you want on the first try.
Yep.
Yeah, like the barrels will be random, but there's like things you can like come to expect for certain barrels. Like the second to last barrel, for example, is almost always going to be second try.
Yep. And that barrel that Laugh had pretty poor RNG on, like that won most of the time you get it first try. And so that was unfortunate that it was a fourth try for him. So right there, damage boost.
Here, what that last barrel.
Alright, nice. So that's a newer World 7 route to do that damage boost at the end of Creepy Caverns. So it mitigates the RNG that you're getting from the last barrel, and it also changes the first half of this stage right here, Lightning Lookout. Arguably the hardest level in the run.
This 775 on what? People casually. Like I try some of these stages now and I think, how can people be doing this?
Nice reaction there to dodge the lightning.
Oof, okay, nice. I was wondering if that was gonna offset his lightning pattern, but he recovered pretty decently. Another damage boost here.
Oh,
Ooh.
just didn't quite get enough speed.
Yep, that happens.
Well, if there's one stage you're going to take a death in, it's probably going to be this one.
Yep.
That ending is really tight too, so you really need to make sure all your input's on point.
Yeah, it's tough. Like it saves a decent amount of time, but it's pretty tough. Whew. Barely squeezed that through with iframes. Okay,
Lightning not being very nice there at the end, but Left finds a way around it.
we were chilling, and then I was like, oh, we're not chilling, and then we were chilling again.
Yeah, once you're off your pattern and you don't have an opportunity to reset it with, taking damage or getting another Kong, it can get pretty sticky.
Yep.
Alright, now this stage, definitely one of the best movement stages in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah. Underrated stage movement-wise, for sure.
Ooh, gets the full roll off that guy. Nice.
Dude, that is so nice to get.
It's a really tight cycle to be able to do that.
Yep. I'm liking those just defends. Ooh, nice. That was a good audio cue right there. Like easily a second and a half faster than what I do normally.
Alright, skipping the DK barrel. Gonna get the DK barrel later as on guard, so we don't have to wait for it to break open. It's kind of interesting that you finished this game off before K-Roll with a water stage. I actually really like this stage, though.
Yeah, the stage's pretty decent. But I do agree in that it's unusual that it's a water stage right before the final boss.
Oh, that sucks. So he went a little bit early on that first charge, so it's kind of a crapshoot whether or not he was going to get through both of those lurchins with the second one.
Yeah.
Not Donkey 3 fish was supposed to be invincible.
Not against the Lurchins. If they're fully closed, then they don't take damage, and you are the one to get punished.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing it's a 2-frame window for when
Yeah.
you can get hit. So that was honestly just pretty unlucky.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's a 2-frame window, but it's 2 frames of the Lurchin's animation. So like,
Yeah.
with that animation, it's probably like wider the window that you can't damage them. But yeah.
Yeah, if you're moving at them full speed with the charge, I believe that.
Yep.
And I think it goes without saying that most people are probably aware, but the controls are backwards in the stage, so it's also a little bit wonky.
Yeah.
I remember anytime I would like make a mistake, sometimes I would just get like caught up in the controls and start going like
Yeah.
So you really want to stay on track in that stage.
I've definitely done that before.
And we're just going to casually walk over, pick up this barrel. Yeah, so what you saw Laugh do was wait on the left side of the flame to manipulate the barrel to spawn on the right, and then at the last second we go under chaos there, so... Nice infinite rolls.
I was gonna say kitty jump roll.
K-Rool talking his shit.
Damn, I can't believe the final boss is K-Rool.
At least this fight isn't the glorified waterfall way.
That RNG was not too bad. So, right there... Ooh. Alright, safe. But yeah, right there, for whatever reason, it's RNG whether K-Rool will stop bouncing around like closer to the top of the screen or the bottom of the screen.
Realize when you use the purple Dixie, is the gum that she's chewing purple as well?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. Yeah, that mistake from earlier basically like made the whole K-Rool fight a little out of whack for Laugh, but he's through now.
Alright.
Nice run.
Nice run.
Look at that, 257s for the price of one. And that was Donkey Kong Country 3, no major skips. Thank you for helping me on commentary, Otto, and thank you as well, Chillix.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun.
Yeah, it definitely was. So, if you guys enjoyed the Laugh content being, you know, goated at DKC3, then stay tuned because he's going to be doing Super Mario Land 2 right after this. So yeah, I'll be setting him up for that, and we'll be right back.
You guys get to see Laugh be sick at 2 different games.
Alright, gamers, welcome back to Voidathon. Next run, still going to be Lef running this time Super Mario Land 2 glitchless. And to join me on commentary, we have Odir and Alekman. Welcome, gamers.
Hello there, everyone.
Hello.
So, yeah, I'm going to give a countdown to Lef, and then you guys will be able to fire it up. So, in 3, 2, 1, Smurf!
And we're off. So, SML2 is a very peculiar Mario game, I suppose. It's kind of different than most other Mario games in terms of, first of all, it's a handheld game, only second of its kind after SML1, and the entire layout is a little bit different than your general Mario games, mostly in terms of that you had to work with the small Game Boy screen, so Mario in relationship is much bigger. It's a lot less look ahead in this game on the Game Boy, but it kind of gets evened out again by the Game Boy being the Game Boy and not that powerful as a platform. It can't handle that many sprites anyway, so it kind of evens out that you can't see that much ahead of you, not having so many sprites in any way. In terms of the speedrun of the game, it's your general jump and run game. For most of the part, you hold right and run for a lot of the time. But there are also some non-obvious things in this game, and quite a few of them actually. For example, you see Lef jumping at the back of edges of corners every now and then. That's what we call a corner boost, so Mario gets pushed forward a pixel if you time it just right, which is usually... not just usually, which is always frame perfect. And it saves you exactly a frame per successfully executed corner boost. One thing that happens in this level is he's ramping up his kill count. Didn't want to get hit there, but keep an eye on the kill count, which is the third little symbol in the bottom menu thingy, which now shows 14. At the end of the run, you want to be at, or just before the end of the run, you want to be at 99, because at 100 something special happens, which saves some time. Yeah, keep track there in chat. Yeah, what about some of the peculiarities? You have something called super jumps. If you... I usually explain it this way. If you hold your jump button for a certain amount of time, the game at some point sees, oh, this and that many frames of jump held. Let's execute the syncing algorithm. If you stop holding jump just before that, that does not trigger, so your momentum carries you up a couple of pixels more. So you want to release your jump button a little bit earlier than your maximum jump height to actually get your maximum jump height, which makes a lot of sense.
And that's especially useful in the next level, where you can skip an entire section of the level.
Yeah, so the level design wants you to zigzag through this level, go right, left, and then right again. But left just barely missed it, so you see him go left here. What he could have done is if he had gotten the super jump perfectly and held his jump height there, you can just land on those platforms that you barely missed and go straight diagonally up to the exit. Still didn't lose too much time, like missing that only costs you about 5 to 6 seconds, so no big deal at all. Yeah, anything you wanna mention about the power up, maybe, Elecman?
So this is the best Mario power up, clearly.
In all of Mario, exactly.
Yes. So you can obviously float with the bunny ears, and if you like repeatedly press in the air, you can float even longer. So that's usually what we do.
Like you don't even have to be a master masher, which Aleph, interestingly enough, is. But you have to. I think Taz does it at 5 hertz, so 5 presses per second. Lets you flutter indefinitely without losing any height whatsoever. For more practical terms, like meshing at like 6 to 10 hertz isn't too difficult if you don't have to do it for extended amounts of time. So pretty much anyone can perma-flutter in this game is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and there aren't any like very long sections that are required. So,
yeah.
I mean...
Particularly the not losing height is not required for longer stretches of time.
Yeah. So it's fine.
Technically, this game does have some auto-scrollers, I guess. This is a practical auto-scroller, not a true one. But you just jump into this snot bubble that comes out of a hippo, which leads you to the zone you have to go to. Which is one of those peculiar, non-standard things in this game. It's just different in some regards.
So in this level, we want to stay on the ground for as long as possible, as much as possible, because floating is slower. So the route optimizes for that.
Yeah, I think you save one frame every 8 frames for.
Yeah, I think. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, something around that.
It's faster.
Over the entire course of the stage, it actually matters. It's a little bit over a second faster, I believe, if you do it optimally. A lot of ground compared to mostly jumping, floating. And speaking of the auto-scrollers, this is the first real one. It's also the longest one by far. It's not too exciting to play, but the song, the level music obviously makes up for that. Because this is the Star song.
The Star song, yep.
True.
People have sung it in the past. Is anyone here
I-
willing to sing it? I'm not.
I'm good.
I haven't practiced, so I can't.
I know the lyrics, but I'm still not gonna sing it.
Yeah, that's exactly my standpoint. We're just teasing chat.
Yeah, exactly. They know the lyrics too, so it's not
They're
like
singing
we're
it at
robbing
home.
them.
Yeah, we would get in their way.
Yeah.
See,
Actually, yeah, Catherine, 10,000 bits and I'll sing it.
everybody talks about the Star Song, but the overworld theme in this game is really where it's at.
Is it? What name does that song have?
I mean, you know, things don't have to have names to be the greatest.
L.
We still came prepared. I guess while this is going on, we can already kind of say something about the boss of this level, which is one of the most specific boss fights in this game. So specific even that we have a dedicated practice room just for a boss fight that lasts about 1.5 seconds.
And
So, yeah,
It's-
go ahead.
almost necessary to have a run because it's very difficult. And
It is very
yeah,
specific, so yeah, the boss has an internal timer going on, and this timer determines how long his stun frames are. Overall, the boss has 6 hit points. You can reduce those either by shooting him 6 times or by stomping him 3 times. So we want to have a combination of those two. Mostly, let's watch the fight first. It looked like 3. Yeah. So 3 shots, so it didn't get the 4th one in, and had to stomp him an additional 1 time, so 3 shots, 2 more stomps, taking off 7 hit points of 6, so he dead. You can optimize this down to... It's a science to optimize this, because the timing of your first shot determines pretty much the entire stun frames that you have for the rest of the fight. You want to keep mashing as quickly as possible. You can get all 6 shots in before you even get to stomp him, which is very, very hard. You have to mash very, very fast. The regular setup would be 4 shots and 1, but he just barely missed that. So Lav has to take a backup here by taking this little detour at the bottom of the level, grabbing a mushroom. Doesn't save. Doesn't save time anyway. Yeah, it doesn't lose a lot of time too.
I think it's really cool how they made the water look like spikes. It like makes you know it's dangerous.
Yes, definitely. Because it has to be that different kind of water, right? Because you also have normal water in other stages that you can just normally swim in. But here it's, I guess it's toxic sewer water, because you're just entering the house.
It's the black water.
It's, yeah. But hey, we're playing this on Super Game Boy, so we have slightly purple water even. Yeah, so Lav went into that secret exit. It's the only secret exit we take in the game. There are 6 of them overall, sprinkled throughout the 6 worlds. 2 in Pumpkin Zone, interestingly enough, and not a single one in Mario Zone.
we just
I
haven't
challenge
found
you
it
to prove
yet.
me wrong. Nobody has found the secret Mario level. Yeah, this is the last auto-scroller. Even though it is an auto-scroller and you usually want to avoid auto-scroller in speedruns, we are skipping 2 alternative levels, which makes this route still significantly faster.
Mhm. And 2 annoying levels too, so that's also nice.
Yeah. The other levels are just... I mean, not saying that this level is not annoying in a way, because it seems so trivial and you're just goofing around most of the time. Every runner has died on this level, interestingly enough. Actually, I'm not sure about Lav yet. Has he? He only picked up the game like a couple of months ago. Maybe he's not in the
yeah,
category yet.
I've seen him die here.
Oh.
No one is safe.
The boss level of this stage of Necrozone is purely jump and run. There's nothing too crazy going on. Olaf is going for the nice fast strat, so you can get that jump without taking damage, where he took damage. But you're kind of expecting to take damage, and then there's this nice backup here that lets you grab the backup Fire Flower without any slowdown. Very well executed. It's not easy to do because you have to get one of those pesky super jumps that I mentioned earlier, and you have to get a good one at that. Okay. Bosses, as you've seen so far, they usually look like this in the game. You have 5 out of 6 bosses you pretty much mash to death. That was a prime example. Laugh being a very fast masher.
Next up, a very spooky zone. So if anyone is easily frightened, look away.
They made some interesting design choices in this. Like we have Jason Voorhees in a Mario game right here. Just generally, this game has some unconventional Nintendo enemies.
It's funny. It's kind of like Super Mario Brothers 2 in that way.
Kind of. You would think they had a different game in mind, right?
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it's like the second one, so you got to make it weird because that's the Nintendo, right? You can never do the same thing twice.
Kind of. Although I would say they didn't even have that like clear direction that they wanted to go in terms of design. Like every early Mario game is very different from one another. So sometimes I kind of refute the criticism about this being willfully different. It's just how they made games that.
Yeah, they just did what they wanted to do with the game, and I mean they still kind of do that. I think that's one of Nintendo's calling cards. Is they just kind of they have an idea and they just kind of roll with it, which is why I was a little surprised about how. Well, we're not supposed to talk about it, but how the new Tears of the Kingdom Zelda game is a lot like Breath of the Wild, which it was advertised as Breath of the Wild too, but like that's just that's kind of not in the style of Nintendo's usual MO.
Yeah. I guess people just have a certain idea of how a game has to look at some point. And my point is more to the point of this. There was nothing established yet back then.
Yeah, much like
so they had an easier time to getting things like the enemies in this weird zone in.
Yeah. Finding your footing, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love what they did with this game. Like it's so quirky and weird, and like I feel like Mario has in a way lost its quirkiness because it's become so entrenched in its identity that you don't see things like this anymore where you have Jason Voorhees like in a Mario game.
Like even if they wanted to, they couldn't at this point. I think that's where I get a little bit nostalgic in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, they're Disney. They can't change the identity of their IPs.
Yes. Alright, a lot of more corner boosts on this level. Nothing too specific going on here. Next level is going to be the same, pretty much. We haven't really talked about some of the mechanics yet. There is very conveniently you can spin jump on top of blocks to grab the contents of those. So sometimes you can pick up power-ups very quickly without losing any time or any momentum, which Lev will do right here, and grab that very cool power-up again. I mentioned earlier that we are pretty much machine gunning 5 of the 6 enemies, zone bosses. This zone boss is the one where we cannot do that, because again, the witch that is coming up here, spoilers, has 6 hit points, but she disappears after each hit. So one shot takes away one hit point, one bonk on the head takes away 2 at once, so we opt to hit her 3 times.
Left.
Oh. No. Could be worse. So, oh no, what's happening? Oh no. I'm gonna tell you why this is oh no in a second. But I have to watch this live. Almost. Almost. So, there is... You technically, I guess, can manipulate the pattern in this fight. It's still very unreliable. But for the sake of the argument, the witch has a chance to change sides between each rounds of 75%. So 75% of the 3 out of 4 times she will change side after each round. And at the beginning of the fight, she's considered on the right while she's still invisible. Then she appears on the left normally. For left, she appeared on the right, so that's already unlucky. Then she was supposed to... Ooh, backwards flying there. Was supposed to change sides again, didn't do that again, so his outcome was like 11-10% likely that he got there. I don't remember the exact odds for 2 wrong ones.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's a pretty big RNG element in the speedrun actually, because usually your time losses aren't that big, but if you get, like usually you anticipate and already wait on the side where she will appear on. So if you guess wrong, you lose about 1.2 to 1.5 seconds per wrong guess. So in a speedrun that is somewhat optimized, that's a big deal. Yeah, and I completely talked over the longest fluttering section right there. You don't have to mash super fast, you can land in certain places there. What you don't want to do is, first of all, come to the level without the bunny ears. That would be awful because there's a lot of swimming and water below. And you also don't want to like load in too many entities at the bottom, which could create lag. Speaking of swimming, this is the only level where you swim for extended amounts of time.
Oh. Yeah. So there are 2 swim speeds. They are just basically determined by a coin flip. It's dependent on the frame you enter the water. Yeah, and you just get fast or slow swim. You can then, if you get slow swim, reset it by touching the ground or jumping out. But
Yeah.
it just sucks. A bit.
And it's one of those, like, I think it might be a programming oversight that you have those 2 swim speeds. It only works when you're going right, not when you're going left. When you go left, you always have fast swim. For going right, you can get slow or fast swim, and you kind of have to recognize it quickly to then be able to fix it, which can be tricky at first.
Yeah, I guess fix it or exploit it. If you get like fast swim, you don't want to jump out to
Exactly.
lose it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, has to be careful here. He didn't want to take that second hit. First one was planned in a different way than he did, but damage boosting or iframe abuse is a thing in this game. Actually, differently from... How was it in SMB2? In SMB1, you definitely get slowed down, like you freeze in place when you take damage. It's not the case in this game. Left with a little bit of trouble there.
It's not gonna
we'll
fire
see.
for the boss.
Yeah, gonna see an actual boss fight here. Kinda. You can still stun lock the boss, but
Yeah.
you lose.
Nice fight.
Good backup, true.
Yeah.
But the stun is just so much more punishing when you jump on the octopus compared to just, again, with shots you can just stun lock the boss, like, or there are not even any stun frames, I believe. Just takes damage right away again. So that's usually a significant time loss that you don't want to get. There's a very interesting or important super jump coming up right here. Let's see. First try, very good. And the no-run strat, let's go! So that first room is very, very fun to practice. If you ever pick up this game, even just for fun, even if you don't even plan to run it, just practicing that first room is so satisfying. Because it just flows.
Yeah, vertical screen's good for platforming.
Yeah. And there are 2 different versions of how you can play the room. There is a super jump strat with a running jump that you can do, and you can also do what Laugh did and just play it vertically without any run speed, which is more advanced, I would say. Interestingly enough, the 2 strats end up being exactly as fast as each other. Okay, some small Mario strats here. Always a bit tricky. See if he gets all of these tight spike jumps. Gets them all. Very good.
Nice.
Ah, scary jump on the
Oh.
pig. Why does he do that? I gotta say, like, I've been watching Laugh practice. He has some sense of swag. This guy.
Yeah.
Goes for quite a few very tight, also very unnecessary swag strats. I love it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
So right here you wanna run on those balls because they just push you forward a bit.
Yeah. I think
Like
it's
these balls.
only again one frame per successfully executed one, because you just don't spend a lot of time on them. And he's going for a small Mario strat again here, which is a little bit more risky and a little bit more, like, it's the more modern strat. It's about 0.2-ish faster if executed perfectly, I believe. Maybe less. Gets that jump perfectly over the spikes. It's really tight, actually. And what? Okay.
You gonna do it? Oh.
He went for the conventional strat. You can do some tight ducking under one of those spike balls, which I believe only Taz can make faster than the conventional strat. So I'm not surprised not seeing him do this. Yeah, more spin jumping on blocks, killing enemies ahead of time. I mentioned it earlier. There is interesting. I like his strat right there. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. The Game Boy tends to be very laggy as soon as like more than 3 entities are on screen at the same time. So that plays a role in when you kill certain enemies here. He's doing these strats, these laugh strats, exploiting his mashing speed. Like normally you kind of want to jump before the first pig to have a better angle at mashing, or at shooting the pig. He just stands there and mashes quickly enough to not let it get away. Very well done. And that's already 6 out of the 6 coins. And Chat kept track. I'm proud. 99 kills. You're perfectly on track. Because it's gonna happen too fast. When it happens, the 99 kills are important because at 100 kills you get rewarded an invincibility star that drops from the ceiling in the middle of the screen. And there are some enemies in the castle at the very end which take a little bit of time to kill. If we time these 99 kills exactly that we get the star when those enemies appear, we can just quickly run through them and skip them.
Intended damage here to reduce lag.
In this first castle room there's a lot of lag manipulation going on, that's why he took damage there twice. We also want to be small Mario for this third room, because we can go, like, easily go under one of these ledges here, the one that's coming up here. Scrolling the camera ahead, so he reloads one of those platforms. Well executed.
Ayaka strat. The palette swap.
With the palette swap, yeah. You're familiar with the Super Game Boy, you know that's what the X button does. Super Game Boy 2, I should say. Super Game Boy 1, as the speedrun affine audience also knows here, is 2.4% too fast. With the SGB2, which only came out officially in Japan, they fixed that issue. Not for speedrunning, but because they wanted to have their audience be able to trade Pokemon between Game Boys and Super Game Boys. That's the star!
Oh. It just makes these very fast. You can just run through them.
He's executed the castle perfectly. I just looked at the in-game time. The second phase of Wario, he has 3 fights, is on a cycle. You want to enter the second room when the in-game timer shows a 0, a 4, or an 8. And he had a 770 right there, which makes Wario drop as quickly as possible in the second phase. See, right there.
Last
One more.
phase.
3 more stomps, and we're done. There's 1, there's 2, and 3.
Nice.
GG.
Nice run.
4 underscores. Very good marathon run.
Yeah.
Just barely over 27 minutes. It's
Also nice
usually around
gold
the
at
time
the
that we
end.
want to get.
Nice run, nice gold, TY run.
Yeah, that was a very fast castle. That level is not easy. If you've played this and remember this from your childhood, the difficulty ramps up significantly from the rest of the game once you reach the castle.
Yeah, I remember playing this as a kid, but never making it to the end.
Probably because of the castle.
No, it just wasn't my game, so I was borrowing it from a friend, and I was never able to finish it because of that. But like the just the way the overworlds looked was very like it marked me for sure.
I think I share that experience actually. I don't think I ever finished the game in my childhood. It was very similar for me. Like I had this like daycare thing when I was in elementary school, and only there I was able to play the game, and I never got to play it for long enough to actually finish it.
Ah, yeah. It does that. But yeah, that's it for the laugh block, gamers. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for the commentary, Odir and Alekman. Appreciate that.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna be setting up the next run, and we'll be right back, gamers.